The Rich Thomas Weather Network, brought to you by these fine sponsors. Hear Rich's forecast hourly on these Blue Water Broadcasting radio stations.
Hey, good morning, everybody. I'm having some issues getting some video from outside the house, so let's do it a different way. Let's do it with the webcam here this morning. Good morning on this October the 4th. This is an important day in our hurricane history. This is the day that Opal came through town with winds gusting over 90 miles per hour. You remember that? It went right up through the spine of Alabama. It was still a tropical storm once it got into Tennessee. It caused some fatalities in Atlanta from trees down. That was Opal's history. Today we're looking at a hurricane named Matthew. And Matthew is terrorizing Haiti and Jamaica this morning and headed for Cuba and then the Bahamas. And now the models are shifting a little farther west into Florida. So the cone covers much of the state of Florida. The governor, Rick Scott, has issued a state of emergency for all of Florida, and there could be tropical storm warnings or maybe a hurricane watch later on today for Florida. And then our friends in Georgia and South Carolina and North Carolina could be affected as well. So this takes on a new meaning watching Matthew. And here's the latest on Matthew this morning. On the Big Map this morning, quite a contrast from strong thunderstorms that could become severe out in the plain states today to the hurricane near Haiti, and we are dry and quiet in between. A big contrast on the map. Meanwhile, there is a close-up of the southwestern tip of Haiti as the storm nears and moves northward. Matthew is a Category 4 hurricane expected to cause widespread flooding in Haiti today and then move in towards the eastern part of Cuba. The rain you're seeing off the southeastern coast and down in the Bahamas right now is not directly associated with Matthew yet, but that will change. That's with a stalled frontal system, which will play a role in the future steering of Matthew. For us today, sunshine, low humidity. We had 90 yesterday. We're looking for 90 again today. Tonight's low 67. The winds out of the east at 4 to 8 miles per hour today. Now a wide shot showing the hurricane affecting Jamaica and Haiti and moving towards the eastern tip of Cuba and then into the Bahamas. So it's moving north now, then north-northwest, and finally northwest as it gets into the Bahamas. It has 145-mile-an-hour winds, Category 4. And there is a look at the hurricane warnings now, which extend not just through eastern Cuba, but now in through much of the Bahamas, including the northwestern Bahamas. And now the cone covers much of the Florida peninsula, and a tropical storm warning or a hurricane watch will be needed later on this morning for a portion of Florida and the Florida Keys. There's the spaghetti models, which have edged westward and now include the southeastern coast and much of Florida. There's the consensus of the American model, the GFS, showing most of the activity just off the Florida coast, but it's too close for comfort. This is the European, which is a very good model, and some of the members take this into Florida. Some, and most of them, the center point is just off the Florida coast, but it's going to be very close for comfort. Now look at the rainfall over the next 10 days according to the European. This is really bad news for Alabama because it shows not a drop of rain here over the next week to 10 days, and that's very bad news for us, but prolific rainfall, of course, along the coast because of the hurricane. Upper 80s tomorrow, and then looks like mid to upper 80s the next few days. Lows at night going down to 56 by Saturday morning, 55 on Sunday morning, and that's because of some cooler air that slips in over the upcoming weekend. You can see that. I've circled those cooler temperatures on the European out 10 days. Notice also no rain indicated on the European. This is the GFS out 16 days, and again, you can see those cooler mornings as we get to especially Sunday, Monday, Tuesday mornings, and afternoon highs will be a little bit cooler. So cooler days, but still no rain in our forecast, and that's becoming a very, very important fact. And I know exactly what you're thinking. I'm reading your mind. You're saying, will the track of Matthew shift even farther west and affect Alabama? Well, there would have to be a radical change in the whole meteorological setup to get Matthew affecting us. However, we're watching it very closely. There'll be a very important update this morning at 11 o'clock from the Blue Water Weather Center at RichThomasWeatherNetwork.com. We'll have the latest model data. I think by then we'll either have a hurricane watch or tropical storm warnings for Florida, maybe both. And we'll know a lot more by then, so join us there. We'll be talking about it on the radio this morning on News Talk 93.1 from 6 to 9 a.m. With Greg and Jay and LaDonna. And also your forecast whenever you want it on the 8 radio station group, which is Blue Water Broadcasting, as we look at the forecast through the weekend. And also, there'll be another video for you tomorrow morning at 5 o'clock. Don't forget social media posts as needed on Rich Thomas Weather on Facebook and also on my Twitter feed. Check out my Twitter feed. I push out some very important, very critical information several times a day. That's some really good stuff on the Twitter feed. Have a great day today. We'll get this video situation outside ironed out and be back to a regular video tomorrow morning, okay?
Rich Thomas Weather.